Let me talk my shit, man. I listen, listen. Before I started keto, right? I got a serious bone to pick. All my days, I got something to get off my chest. Why is this there's such a big problem with agencies? Like what? Um, no, I'm actually flabbergasted. Today I was flabbergasted. Let me just break it down for you lot. Basically, I put down a deposit for a studio in Manchester in early November. Early November, draft tenancy agreement was made. I, I I showed my interest. I was put in touch with a initial agent, right? And this initial agent is important. This initial agent is is the biggest point of confusion in this whole story. So cool. Cool. And we got a draft tenancy agreement sorted. I tell her, look, I liking this property. What's going on? This, that, and the other. She's giving me the details. Cool. Everything's going well. Everything's going smoothly. She's like, I'm gonna pass your details onto another property manager who will then progress your application. So, after she puts my details forward, this property manager then addresses me. Right? She gets in touch with me and she asks us for some references and all of the normal stuff that you have to provide before you rent a property. So I get that sorted. I get that sorted. And by this time, I've put down a deposit, but my guarantor is taking long to do her thing in it, so she's taking long to provide her references. So by this time, it's like 2 weeks in, and my guarantor still hasn't fully provided her references because somehow she's struggling to actually. Because first of all, she was on holiday for the first week, and then she came back, and then she was struggling. She didn't have time. She was at work, and then eventually it got done. So this is maybe like 2 weeks in. So it's got done now, right? 2 3 weeks in now, and they've had my deposit, a £750 deposit this whole time, right? So I'm thinking, cool, let's get this sorted. Let's get this patterned. Oh no, my guarantor is 1K below the limit, bro. 1K. 1K, come on now. You know you can do me a service. You know you can do me a deal. Let's negotiate. So I'm telling the property manager now, listen, I'll do you a deal. Send this proposal to the landlord. Listen, I'll pay 2 months rent in advance, right? And because that £1,000 deficit is that deficit will be covered by the fact that I've put 2 months rent in advance because now the guarantor is only liable for the what the it's a 10 month contract. So if I put 2 months in advance, then my guarantor is only realistically liable for the 8 months. So it reduces the risk on the landlord. So now that I've paid that month in advance, prior to moving in, then the guarantor the guarantor salary now covers that deficit, right? The deficit is no longer because the guarantor doesn't have to cover such a large amount of money anymore. So cool, I put forward that proposal, and she's telling me, no, listen, if you want to if you want to go forward without a guarantor, you have to pay 6 months rent in advance. I'm saying, wait, hold on. I never said I'm going to go forward without a guarantor. I'm saying I'm going to go forward with the same guarantor. I'm just going to pay that rent. I'm just going to pay an extra month's of rent before I move in. And she's like, no, you have to same message, bro. And this is over weeks because she's taking long to get back to me. So this is on holiday. She's gone on holiday now. It's over Christmas times. She's just not active. You know what I'm saying? So this is after Christmas now. I'm saying, yo, listen, have you put forward my proposal to the landlord yet? You're dragging it now. And she comes back to me saying, listen, have you tried this guarantor service? I think that would be of use to you. If you want to go forward about a guarantor, you have to have 6 months in advance. So I'm thinking, and at this point, right? At this point, I'm in contact with Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Like, property manager Gemini. Nah, I'm using Gemini as an advisor, right? So I'm thinking. So when I did read like that third email where she's kind of like just saying, I need to pay 6 months or use a guarantor service. I'm thinking, okay, cool. So the landlord has probably denied my proposal, and that's his response. So I put the response into Gemini, and for some reason I was thinking that when she said that, 'cause the way she said it, it was like, um, the landlord will only accept 6 months in advance. Da, 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 da. So it seemed like in my brain that the landlord had seen the proposal and had rejected it and said, these are my requirements. But then when I pointed to Gemini was pointing out the wording. Obviously, Gemini's got better attention to, I wouldn't maybe not better attention to detail, but at that moment in time, I wasn't really paying attention because I was just, I was one of the ones I was just tired. I was looking, I was like, bro, Gemini, what else can I do? I'm giving him the best proposal of his life. And Gemini was like, wait, hold on. The wording of this email suggests that the property manager hasn't actually forwarded your proposal yet. Here's what you should say. So cool, I'm drafting it. Gemini as my helper, yeah. Send her an email. And she finally gets it. Oh my gosh. She's like, okay. And I'm gonna forward your proposal to the landlord, and I should expect to hear back from him by, let's say, the end of the week. Cool. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Progress, finally. Only a month later, right? And then the initial agent that was first in contact with him now gets back to me saying, okay, cool. Property manager told me about your proposal. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna handle it from here. I'm gonna go negotiate it for you. It makes a lot of sense. You should be fine. This should go through, and we should be able to secure your property. Okay, I'm thinking. Okay, thank the Lord, we're in safe hands. We got some serious progress going on. We're actually about to speak to the landlord. Listen, next time, I ain't fucking with these agencies, bro. I'm going straight to the landlord. But in this case, cool. It's now being handled, and then let's say like a week or two later, let's say 2 weeks later, she get back to me. I have to keep like sending follow ups, like what's going on? What's the landlord? Has the landlord replied yet? And she gets back to me just at a random lunchtime. I'm about to sit down and eat some lunch. She's like, "Yo, are you free today?" I'm like, "We can call now if you want." She's like, "Are you free for a call?" I was like, "Cool, let's call now. Let's get this shit sorted. What's going on?" She calls me. She's like, "Oh, you know what it is? The landlord said because of his insurance, you can't get this property, but you can get a property next door for the same price with the same guarantor, right?" And she said explicitly that the landlord said this was okay. She said the landlord has a property next door with the same rent, similar room, and you can use the same guarantor, and obviously the property has all the same services. So it's literally identical to it, just literally next door. And this studio that she offered me was actually maybe 100 and something more a month. And she was like, you can still get it from the same price. I'm like, okay, bless. Let's just get this over and done with. Like, I'm done skiddly daddling. You know what I'm saying? Diddly daddling, diddly squat. I'm trying to get things moving. You know how many things I've had in the backlog that I've just been waiting on other people for? Oh my gosh. But I swear down. I'm on it. I'm on it. And I could have started something from months ago. And all now, months later, I ain't heard back from people that require this for my applications to move on and these sorts of things to move on. Like, it's just long waiting for people, bro. And I understand people are busy, they got shit to do, but listen, it doesn't seem to be that hard. It doesn't, like, I do my job perfectly well. Listen, I balance, I got everything. This gets balanced. You know what I'm saying? I'm on top of it. Guys are not on top of it. And that's what I'm realizing. You got to take the initiative. You got to be proactive and you got to be on them. Otherwise, nothing is going to get done. But anyways, back to what I was saying though. Back to what I was saying. This initial agent is telling me that, listen, it's all pan. The landlord said you can have this property. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm saying, are you sure? Like, you're saying I can have it for the same rent, this, that, and other. She's like, yeah. I'm like, wait. So why is he going to allow me to move into this property with the same guarantor that doesn't meet the requirements for that building or not this building? She's like, because of his insurance. Okay, cool. So I'm asking Gemini about this. Like, what do you mean insurance? And obviously, there's certain things where you insure buildings, and if there are certain tenants in there that don't meet certain requirements, your insurance skyrockets. Okay, cool. That kind of makes sense. And retrospectively, doing some research about it, cool. So now she's like, I'm gonna send over information to the new property manager for your new property manager. I'm like, cool, bless. Thank you so much for your continued support of my application. I really appreciate it. And yeah, cool. So now I'm waiting. Now I have to follow up. Have you sent it to the? It's been a week now. I haven't heard anything from property manager, right? And she's like, cool. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna follow up now. I'm like, thank you. Cool. So tell me why today I got an email saying no. Was it even the start of the week yesterday? I got an email saying your guarantor hasn't met the requirements. I have to withdraw your application. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, bro, you clearly haven't told this property manager what I want. You clearly haven't told the property manager the pattern. Now what's going on? You said you're gonna pass over your details. Is that all you did? You just passed my details and not said anything about the landlord's approval of of my proposal and the agreement that we have going on. So I screenshot this and I sent it to her. I'm like, did you not tell James a pattern? Do you know what I'm saying? That what's going on here? Like, and then she hasn't got back to me. And then today, a new guy's come back to me. He's a lettings manager, and he's telling me, "Cool, the actual rent, what has been put forward, the rent is lower than the actual rent, and your guarantor doesn't meet the requirements. Would you like to still proceed with the application? You will need to have to find a guarantor service, um, house in hand. You know, I've everywhere I've looked. Side note, everywhere I've looked, house in hand. House in hand is a guarantor service that's apparently the best in the world, and my experience of it has been terrible. I've gone onto the website multiple times, used multiple browsers, used multiple accounts, and every time I start an application and I do the first stage and I press next stage or whatever it is, I get taken back to the first stage. I get taken back to the start application page. And every time I do that, it just it's a loop. And when I've tried to reach out to customer service, I'm not hearing no response. It's all AI. It's all automated replies. It's like a ghost company. And I said this, and I reached out to another agency, a separate agency, as an inquiry because they say they work closely with Housing Hand. So I'm thinking, yo, who are you working with? Because I don't see any. I don't see it. It doesn't seem to be like that. That that's an active company. Like the company seems not. It seems not real. Everything just seems like a scam right now. The way my perspective has been shifted, I just feel like I gotta be vigilant. I just, bro, that's why I gotta make money, man. This is just like the things, the loops that you have to run through, the loops that you have to hop through, and the things that you have to do when you don't have enough, when you don't have a lot of money. It's just, it's tough out here, man. But anyways, listen, cool. I replied to him and I CC in the initial agent. I replied to the lettings manager that's telling me that I can't that the rent is too low and my guarantor doesn't meet the requirements. So I CC in the initial agent and I basically just relay it onto her and like tell her, listen, could you tell him that the agreement that we've come to this, that, and the other, this is actually how it goes. I won't need a guarantor service. It's all been agreed with. It's all been agreed beforehand. And the response that I got, oh my gosh, James, sorry, I'm name dropping. The lettings manager comes back to me, right? The lettings manager comes back to me and says, listen, that woman no longer works at the company. What are you talking about? Bro, the woman that I spoke to you like a month ago, the woman that, no, not even a month ago, a few weeks ago, that told that negotiated the landlord on my behalf no longer works at the company. And then guess what? This brother says that landlord doesn't even own that property. That landlord only owns the one next to it. He has no he has no ownership over that property, so he doesn't have the right to rent me a room with um with that lower rent and the the no guarantor. Not the no guarantor, but a guarantor that doesn't meet the requirement. He doesn't have the right to do that. So are you telling me this? What was this woman doing? This initial agent that I was in contact with, what 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 was going on in her head? I spoke to her multiple times on the phone, and what she was just what she was just stringing me along for the ride. Nah, this shit is making me gonna this shit makes me have trust issues, bro. I'm gonna have trust issues after this. I'm gonna have trust issues because she was nice and friendly on the phone. I thought we had built a relationship, a trusting relationship. I thought it was I thought it was locked in. I thought it was fully locked in because when I got that initial email saying, "Oh, this is all wrong and this that," I was like, "No, no, no way," because I know this woman that I've been in contact with the whole time. She's been so reassuring that I'm gonna be fine. That this is surely just a miscommunication and she hasn't given you the full details. So when he comes back to me saying she left the company, I'm thinking, "Oh my god!" And then I go on her WhatsApp. Her profile picture's gone. I, I'm thinking this is a scam. I've been scammed. But how have I been scammed by a real agency? Like I've been in scams before. I've been in scams before. I've been in a GC who was backed by Gary Stevenson. and they poured all this money into a stock. They got everyone to start investing in it. I invested in it initially. Like I put in a bill and my money doubled. Imagine if I put in more at the start, but then they kept saying, let's just put in more, let's put in more. And they generated reports. And so obviously I'm starting to get a bit like, after seeing how much they're pushing for more money, more this, more that, and what they're saying is kind of not really adding up. I finally something clicks in my head, and I'm thinking, wait, hold on, let me evaluate this report. I put it into Gemini. Is this report real? Because now they're mentioning other things and this and that and the other in this report. And he's like, no, the report is definitely fake. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a scam. And it dawned on me that it clicked. I was like, shit, I just took my money out and I just watched. And then like a few months later, the, the stock plummeted, bro. I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my days. But the thing is, I was gullible enough to believe it at first. That's the problem. I could have joined at a time where they was already at the top of how much they wanted to boost that stock. And I would have put money in, and then they would have just swept the rug from my feet, and I would have just lost that bill. That's why I only put in a bill at first. Like I could have put in a K, I could have put in more than that, but I wanted to see a bill just to play it safe, because they were saying, oh, there'll be more opportunities down the line, this, that, and the other. And it was giving evidence about their previous investments and how well it did. And so I was thinking, you know what, I'll give you guys a benefit of that. I'll put a bill in. So at least I was being somewhat sensible in that sense. But I kind of wish I put more in at the start, but at the same time, no, because listen, yeah, there are some get rich quick schemes, but it's really not worth it because the risk is too high. But anyways, this is what this situation felt like, because after that stock plummeted, they kind of disappeared. Like all the admins of the group kind of just went quiet a little bit. And then I think they even tried to restart it. They was like, no, 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 I promise you it's gonna go back, it's gonna go up, it's gonna I'm like, why the fuck are you lying to these brothers, bro? You just scam them and you're still trying to keep up the act, bro. Just wear your money, man. What the fuck? But listen, that's exactly how the situation felt today, man. That's exactly how the situation felt today. And I was thinking, wow, I've just been royally scammed by by a real by a real company. I don't understand. These are not just normal scammers. This is a real lettings agency. This is a real property. What do you call it? This is a real agency. And how am I gonna get how am I gonna get violated like this? I was bamboozled. I was bamboozled. So now I'm gonna have to get a guarantor service and go back to the previous property and try and just follow that through. But they've had my deposit for months. They've had my deposit for like 12 weeks now, and obviously the legal limit is like 2 weeks, right? That you can have a holding deposit or whatever you call it. So if it's not patterned by the end of, I'm gonna pattern my guarantor service and demand a response from them, like a confirmation of whether I can go forward with my proposed guarantor service and whatnot by the end of this week. And if it's not patterned by the end of next week, I'm pulling out, and I'm I might perform a homicide, bro. I might just go around there and just start shooting up the place, bro. Niggas wasting my time, bro. You know, time is so valuable. Time is the only thing that you can't get back, bro. Time is non-renewable. You can't. And that, bro, that's one of my biggest. That's one. If you want to piss me off, waste my time. That is the biggest thing that you can do to piss me off. Do you know what I'm saying? Because, bro, we don't have a lot of it. Time is always, whether you like it or not, whatever you do, that nigga still, bro. You gotta keep up. You gotta keep pace. you got you gotta squeeze as much as you can out of what you've got. Do you know what I'm saying? And so when things like this happen and things drag out, and I could be doing so much more, and yeah, I could be doing so much more, but because of the incompetency and inadequacies of other people, you get dragged behind. It's like I'm trying to run, but I got wrecking balls tied to my feet, man. I got chains tied to my feet. I'm trying to run, but being dragged. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't put these chains on. These chains just happened to occur on the path that I was walking. Heavy, 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 heavy. That today, like it literally took me the whole day, and then I was, yeah, man. I'm gonna stop talking about this. I've got this off my chest, and I'm heavily disappointed. And my takeaway from this is that if I next for my next property or whatever property I go for next, I'm going straight to the landlord. If I can't speak to the landlord, then it's looking very unlikely I'm going to be doing any business. I need to speak to the person in charge because this whole middleman bullshit is not it. Especially when they're incompetent. Fine if they're sharp, if they're on the ball. No, I'm not doing it if they're like this. And most of them are like this. It's crazy stuff. And the thing is, it scares me because when I actually move in, what now? I'm trying to get a hold of them. They're not going to be available. Something goes wrong. Who do I go to? They're not reliable. They've already proven they're not reliable. They've proven they're incompetent. They've proven they can't handle what they need what they need to be handling. So it's more so um the fact that I've already had this deposit and it's been going on for so long that I just may as well just carry on because at this point, what properties are left on the market? It's been months. I only just got this property and all of the rest of them was going at that time. So I'm kind of locked in, I'm screwed. And it's like, I think this is a, I don't know, psychological phenomena is that when you've already invested in something, you want to stay invested. It's just natural, you know? And especially given the context, my context, I have to carry this on. But I do there are always other options though, you know, they're like if you're not prepared to walk away from the table, you don't have a negotiating position, which is why I said to them, I'm drawing my deposit, I'm done. If you don't get a response to me by this Friday in regards to if we can continue and if we can get this sorted ASAP. Right. So listen, I don't know where I'd be without Gemini, you know. Gemini where would I be without AI, bro? I would have just sent one angry email, just cussing them out, and nothing would have get sorted, bro. But Gemini really helped me with the drafting emails thing because the way I am, I'm quite meticulous with the way I write things. So if I had to write all of my own emails, like it would take me a while because I know what points I need to get across and how I need to convey them, and to find the right words to do that, it just takes me a while because I'm not an email writer. I don't do this from it on like regularly. So Gemini is a lifesaver for sure. He's a lifesaver for sure. It's like a someone I can confide in, you know, and they can give me reliable advice, and then I can like verify that what he's saying makes sense. But wow, what a fucking day, man. What a fucking day. I'm trying to think. I was doing other things today, right? But I don't think it's worth talking about. Um, yeah, let's get back to Keto. That was just a rant. I just had to rant. I just had to rant for a little bit. Rant. What kind of accent do I have? What is my accent? South London, bro. South East, bro. I have to represent. I know you lot are fucking with the pajamas, though. You see me? You know how comfy these shit. You know how comfy this is, bro. Listen, I'm allowed to man to get more of these. I never bought this from you. It just got given to me. But listen, yeah, it's so comfy. You know what I'm saying? The material on this and it's stretchy as well. Trust me. But anyways, listen, back to keto. Like the keto, I'm still, even though it's day 8, I'm still getting hungry. Like it's a low level hunger throughout the day. Right? I'll eat in the mornings and then come around to like maybe lunchtime. Um, I'll have like low level hunger throughout the day. I might subside a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I might feel just normal. And then it might come back a little bit and just it's like a low level. When I go for runs in the morning, I'm low energy. Like I can feel every step feels heavier than it was when I was on a balanced diet. But this kind of makes sense from the perspective that that my cells the enzymes that my cells would need to efficiently metabolize ketones or use ketones efficiently for energy, they take a while to get built. It takes like 1 to 2 weeks. So they clearly haven't been made yet, and they're clearly still in production. So my body isn't using ketones as effectively. But in the brain, I would say that the brain is using them quite effectively. I would say that I'm definitely more clear headed, clear on certain things. Just a general cohesion that's going on that wasn't there like beforehand because there was a lot of fog and there was a lot of kind of slowness, but I'm quite sharp. And I'm yeah, no, I would say brain wise, I feel good. Brain wise, I feel good. Not better than I was on glucose. I don't think. Like I don't think there's a notable difference there, but there might be, and I'm just not noticing because I'm just go. I'm just always doing shit. You know what I'm saying? And my brain is not a limiting factor, so that's all I can be grateful for. And then my body will catch up eventually, but it doesn't have to because how I am right now, if I as long as I got my mind, I got my brain, that's the most important thing, right? You can lose your body if you still have your mind, your brain, you can still get shit done. You still have agency within the world, right? You still have influence. Your brain, your mind is the most important thing. So as long as that's working correctly, there's calm. As long as I get no nausea, because the nausea speaks to the brain via the vagal nerve and it shuts it down. I'm not gonna lie, nausea is one of them ones where it's just like, ugh. Like everything just like it takes the color out of life. You don't even want to do anything. Your motivation's gone. Just yeah. So as long as I don't have nausea and um I don't have brain fog, anything like that, I'm good. I'm good. I can survive the hunger. And you might wonder why I'm doing keto. Why am I doing keto? That's a great question. Ramadan starts today. Shit, I need to pray. Aye, listen, I'll talk to you man about religion soon. It's not what you think it is. But listen, Ramadan starts today, and when you get into deep ketosis, you don't get hungry. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing keto at this time. But to do keto generally is to the reason to do for me to do keto um generally is that it's good to do periodically because the you only benefit you only get you get the most benefits from a period of growth. Okay, I'm phrasing this wrong. I'm phrasing this wrong. Um, real gains are only real gains are maximized by periods of recovery. There we go. Gains are maximized by periods of recovery. So if you're go all the time, you're you're breaking them down, you're getting stronger, you're this and that, you're building up a whole lot of waste in your body, and eventually that leads to chronic conditions and shit like that. And if you always go. So when you have a period of recovery, you let those gains stabilize, and you also kind of clear out all of the waste that you've accumulated over that time and chasing whatever goal and working towards whatever goal that you was working towards, right? And so this is kind of that phase. It's like just the growth and the cutting phase. So this is kind of a cut, but it's also keto. And ketones are very, very good for the brain. They're neuroprotective, neurogenerative. So they stimulate things like BDNF in the brain, which stimulates like growth of neurons, and they promote um, anti-inflammatory chemicals in the brain. They increase stress resilience and do all these things for the brain. So it's just something. It's something good to do for your brain every once in a while, right? Like glucose is well, when you metabolize glucose in the brain, it releases more waste chemicals in the brain. Ketones can go directly into the mitochondria, I think, right? Um, so all in all, it's just it's just like a repair, recovery, and maintenance phase before we go full ped, full full balls to the wall. Is that a phrase? Full balls to the wall, pedal to the metal. Before we go back to that, you know. So that's the reason why I'm personally doing it. It's a combination of a few factors. And you know what? Like, considering that you also will lose fat, you'll become more aesthetic. You drop the sugar, so potentially skin might get clearer. Like there's a lot of body and aesthetic benefits that come with it as well. So you know what? It's a plus. That's three reasons why I should be doing it, right? And um, we'll see how it goes from here. Hopefully, nothing else stresses me in the way that I got stressed today. Fuck this.